This week I put up this community post and asked you guys, who's really paying you, the consumer or DoorDash? Now, DoorDash collects the money and they pay us. So some say, well, DoorDash is paying us. That's who I'm 1099 says DoorDash is paying me. All of you guys think, well, all the money comes from the consumer, base pay plus tips. I'm going to talk about that with you guys today and show you guys some evidence as to why DoorDash is really paying you nothing. Pedro back at you with the RideShare Guy. Now I'm going to insert some videos, some screenshots. I went to go place an order today, and as we know, delivery fees, service fee, tips, bids, all this terminology we throw out as drivers, and we have to make money with tips. It's the only way you can make money in 2023. But do you think the average consumer realizes the service fee, the delivery fee? They think that that's actually going to us. That's the argument, right? Oh, that's why I don't tip. Aren't you getting that? Well, they're right. We are getting part of the fees. And on most orders, all the money that DoorDash is giving us, they're just playing the middleman. They're just taking the, let's say, $10 from the consumer in fees and tips or whatever. And the consumer's handing it to them. DoorDash is turning around and saying, here you go. You want this or not want this? DoorDash ain't paying you nothing. Now, on some orders, there's going to be peak pay. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. They have to get that pay higher to make it look good enough. And then DoorDash might lose some money or not make as much. But we got to remember, DoorDash is taking a percentage from the restaurant. They're telling the consumer, hey, there's a service fee. It goes to, for us to run this operation, to run this app, which is great. I think it's all good. DoorDash also tells the consumer, hey, this is a tip. If you don't want a tip and you put 000, Dash is not going to get anything. DoorDash is telling the consumer also that the suggested tip and sometimes the service fees based on proximity, mileage, how long it might take. But what's interesting is we are at it with the customers right now about either no tip, no trip, or this or that, or you need to pay me more, blah, blah, blah. Consumers are getting so tired of the tipping thing in America right now. A lot of them are, not most, but a good enough amount to where you see all these stories, right? So even when a consumer doesn't tip, they're still paying you, right? Because they paid a delivery fee, a service fee, whatever. And that company, whatever it is, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, all of them, decided to figure out, okay, we're going to take some of what the consumer just gave us and give it to you. It still came from the consumer. So even the no-tip consumers, while I don't think we should ever knowingly take those, because most of them aren't good enough, they still paid, the consumer still paid you. DoorDash just decided how much of that to give you. And sometimes it's going to be more, sometimes it's going to be less. Some of you guys think that if the consumer leaves a good tip, they filter out some of that base pay and pay you less because the consumer tipped a lot. Some of you guys even think, and it's been proven before, it's been several years, that DoorDash takes some of that consumer's tips and takes it or steals it. Sometimes if that order goes through on the website of a merchant versus the DoorDash app, that merchant can facilitate that tip and manipulate it and give you half and give their staff half. And DoorDash knows about that. But DoorDash isn't paying you anything. Everything in most cases is coming from the customer via a tip, a fee, a delivery charge, whatever you want to call it. It's all coming from them. Even the ones that are $2.25, that customer paid something. So there's no tip, but they still paid you. DoorDash is nothing but a middleman. That is all. Now, with knowing this, I want your guys' opinion down below. And some might say, well, Pedro, it's always like that. Even in W-2s, if you work at a Taco Bell, there's a Taco Bell behind me. The consumer's paying for that $5 cravings box and some this and some that and some cinnamon twists, and the total comes to $8. And that $8 is going towards the rent and this and that, and part of that is they got to pay their staff. True. But if nobody's coming through the line, Taco Bell's paying them per hour, right? So that's coming from Taco Bell. The consumer in every way is paying for everything. That's how it works here. But in the food delivery apps specifically, most of the orders, DoorDash is just taking that $10 they got from the consumer, turning around and handing you the $10. But the $10 started with the consumer. In some cases, DoorDash is going to make more. In some cases, they're going to make less. But DoorDash is getting it from the consumer and the restaurant. So We know they got marketing and they got this, they got to spend, they got upkeep, they got staff, they got all that stuff they got to worry about. But how are they not making money? They're telling us they're not, but they should be. Shouldn't they? Their labor costs on most orders is zero. Zero. And don't forget, they're getting the percentage from the restaurant. So you guys tell me what you think in the comments down below. I really, really, really feel, because even if there's no delivery fee, there's a Dash Pass, the consumer's still paying for that. Consumers, even if they don't tip, they're paying us most of, or if not all of your earnings. If you earned $1,000 this week, all of that money came from your local community and who you decide to deliver to. And DoorDash didn't give you anything. They are the middleman. They are the filter. So drop a comment. Let us know what you think. If you want to sign up for the gig apps, if you want to maximize your earning, check the description box for those links. And I'll see you next week.